Hello everyone. Welcome back to the third installment of the WRE series. In this series, we are conducting this experiment to figure out whether or not the total load on the motorcycle or the rider's weight plays a factor in the valve recession issue that I've been experiencing with my RX3. This bike has been completely stripped down. It's lost over 70 pounds, and that put me smack dab within the tolerances of being within the GVWR. So this will be pretty much the last factor that we can rule out to see what has been the root cause of the valve recession issue that is so common with these bikes. Now, following the results that we have pretty much concluded from yesterday, we got our baseline MPG overall, which was 58.6, pretty good MPG, pretty much a number that would be expected for the type of riding that I've been doing. And today the riding that I was doing was pretty similar to just that. I knew that I wanted to have the goal of wanting to test the top speed or the top end performance, but I didn't run into any opportunity to pass anyone today. So pretty much was riding smooth, the same old. You know, the occurrences where I actually need to pass folks is actually quite rare. It's not as common as folks think, and depending on the occasion, well, I only need to go a certain speed. Sometimes I go 55, sometimes I go 60, sometimes I go up to 65. It just depends on the vehicle that's in front of me. If it's a really big truck that's really long, it's going to take me a long time to pass it up. I might get all the way up to 65 or 70. It just depends. So it's quite important that the bike has that top end capability, because as you can see, the roads that I'm riding on, it's only 2-lane. You only have so much time to pass before you come in contact with oncoming traffic. But today there was no passing, no instances where I would need to. So it was a really relaxed day. MPG performance across the board, at least whatever number we do end up with, we know that the riding in itself was pretty consistent. So the only factor that would either show the same or better or even worse MPG performance is definitely going to be the condition of the valve clearances. The common side effects of valves coming out of spec are, as everyone knows, high idle, poor MPG performance, poor top end or top speed performance, and in extreme cases, sputtering and the bike just cutting off, right? And I believe I'm not to that point yet, but the bike overall today while riding, I could definitely feel that I had to roll the throttle back a little bit more than anticipated, a little bit more than expected. Overall, it still felt pretty good, but you'll see the MPG performance at the end of this clip here. You'll also see how the bike is performing overall at the end of this clip, just like the other videos. Yeah, so far with this test, I'm beginning to believe that the engine is starting to show the exact same signs as the old engine was, unfortunately. So, but again, you guys will be able to see at the end what it is that I'm talking about. I also wanted to note, going back to the topic of passing, folks, it isn't very, like I said before, it isn't very often that I do it. And you guys know from quite a few videos back, I think it was my either first UET video where I showed you guys the new stickers that I put on my top box. I've embraced the slow life, you know, and in all honesty, I'm usually I'm the slow one on the back roads. Usually folks are passing me. But that's why it's so rare for me to pass on the back roads. It does happen, but I'm generally usually the slow one. And as you guys have seen in the video, there's been like 2 or 3 cars who passed me while riding on this back road at night. I'm generally the slow guy out on these back roads, and it's only in those very rare occasions that it's necessary, or that I do pass someone. Yeah, my goal with this bike is and always has been fuel efficiency, saving money on gas. And so the whole idea of riding this bike super fast or riding in red line or whatever that's just not what I use this bike for. I sure did do the top speed test and things of that nature just so I can understand its limitations. But what you guys see in this video and all of my other videos, whether it be the MPG performance videos, even some of the top speed videos, every time that when I'm in those videos, especially for the MPG performance videos, I did MPG highway and then I did MPG commute route. So when I say commute route, well, this is the route that I've been riding every single day since I've owned the bike and started my new job. This particular route and how it's been ridden accounts for over 90% of the miles accumulated between both engines. The first engine, it was 91% of the miles, or maybe 90%. I say more like 90% because maybe 1 to 2% have been like going to the grocery store or whatever. But yeah, like almost 90% of the miles is me riding on this very route back and forth from work. This is by far the majority of what this bike has been through and what both engines have been through. And this second engine, with the miles climbing and increasing, the highway miles on the second engine is even less. It's nearing closer to 5 or 6% now, highway miles. So yeah, the issue that I've been experiencing, I can't say. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense for the culprit to be highway miles or high RPM riding. It's just not, it just doesn't make any sense, because this is what the bike goes through every day. It is not ridden on the highway as much as folks think. This is exactly when I mean that I ride it 60 miles a day, 55 miles an hour, this is exactly what it goes through every single day. But yeah, if you have an RX3 and you plan on potentially riding it every single day, well, depending on your route, depending on how fast you're riding, depending on how far you're riding, this could be an issue. It potentially could be an issue that you can run into. And I'm trying to figure out what the root cause of it is, but everything is pointing to just consistency of use. I mean, I'm at the point now where I just don't believe this bike was truly designed to be ridden in this manner, or ridden in the manner that was advertised, really. Because again, the majority of owners out there who claim to have no issues, they definitely do not ride their bikes every single day, and they do not ride their bikes as far or as frequent as I'm doing now. And yeah, they're not having the issues that I'm having. But hopefully we'll get to the bottom of this, and well, we'll see. We'll see, especially, well, really for this particular test, we'll see if the rider weight is what's truly playing a factor. But so far, I don't believe it is. Alright, this is day 3 of the WRE experiment, and coming home today. This is the idle. Okay. A little bit higher than yesterday. It seems to be higher. I don't know. You guys let me know. That looks like 1700 to me. Maybe even 1650. Well, it's gone. It's like jumping a little bit. It ticks up and down. So the idle. I'm gonna say maybe even it stayed the same from yesterday. Who knows? Maybe it stayed the same. Maybe it jumps up a little bit. But overall, with the way that the bike has been running today, it felt good. I didn't have a chance to pass, unfortunately. So I'd had no test of top end performance yet. But we do have MPG, as always, and I'm gonna give you guys the MPG numbers right after we see the gallons used and the trip ridden. Alright, so now that you guys have seen those pictures, sorry, I forgot to reset the tripometer. We're just going to subtract the mileage that we had from yesterday, which was 58.5, and that leaves us at 58.6. Pretty consecutive. It's that little point, it varies sometimes. But the MPG overall that we got today was 54.8. That's quite a considerable decrease, which is expected. I mean, the valves are starting to get out of spec, and this is common when it comes to a common symptom of valves coming out of spec. Your MPG is going to go down, your top end speed is going to decrease, idle RPMs are high, all typical signs, of valves coming out of spec. However, it's still within, at least to me, it's still within my tolerable limits of what's acceptable. I accept anywhere between 59 to 54 MPG, so it's still in that realm of usable. Once we start to get below, that's when, at least for my riding, I think if you guys are potentially going to run into this same issue, I would say get a baseline of, if you actually use this bike to commute like I do, get a baseline of how your bike performs on your daily route. 54 MPG to me, I would generally only get 54 MPG if I'm riding very, very aggressively, and like super aggressively. But as you guys have seen today, there was literally no passes. Everything was pretty laid back and pretty chill. So definitely should have expected somewhere in the 58 MPG range, just like we did yesterday. But we sadly got 4 MPG less. So I generally want to say, with this experiment so far, even with this third installment, it's pretty much already a wrap. I'm still going to ride the bike just because it's still within that tolerable area of passable, but I'm definitely sure that the valves are tightening up the more and more that we ride. It's just plain obvious at this point. So let's try to finish out the week and then at the end of the week, we'll open up the valves and see what's going on. Okay? So, until next time, guys, stay safe out there, and peace.